guys, it's me, Karan Ashley. Welcome to the Blerd official podcast. Oh my gosh, it's been a minute. We have been so busy. We have been booked and busy, guys. So trust me, we have wanted to spend all the time with you, but we have all been so booked and busy. People have changed continents. People have changed, addresses. We've been going to Comic Cons every weekend. We've barely seen each other. But guys, without further ado, let me welcome my co-host, Hilton George, Mr. BlerdCon himself. The last time I saw you, you were kicking it at BlerdCon. You were doing the damn thing. The show was amazing. I was so proud of you.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, ladies. And you were part of it. Listen, you guys helped make it great. You guys came in, set up, brought all that Ranger energy, all that Blerd energy right to the middle of the floor. People felt it. And, it's infectious. It's kind of like, you get in there and you just plugged in and it was like nothing. Because, you're a veteran. People don't know that about you. You're a veteran. You've been to BlerdCon. This is your third time. As a guest. This was Christi's first time seeing what I've been talking about, and that was extra pressure because, like, if it had been on some bunk stuff, she got some cons under her belt. She'd have come up to me and been like, "Hilton, this ain't really hitting. You need me to go get somebody? Or call my cousin."
Never.
We had a ball, so it was a great run, and it was great hanging out with you guys in person, which we do so much more rarely than people out there in the audience think, because we kind of have this chemistry. People think we live next door to each other, but we only see each other like 3-4 times a year. So it's like,
we definitely only see you. I mean, I see Christi a little bit more, but Miss Thing over here, Miss Christi Renee, she has been moving from state to state. She has just been reorganizing all her whole life. Christi Renee, how are you, Miss newest member to the New York City zip code? How are you doing, Miss Christi?
718.
Oh my!
I need you to change your phone number so you'll really be like a New Yorker.
No. Put it all out there. Yes, I am in the Big Apple, and I've been good. I'm adjusting to the weather because, again, coming from the clearest of air, and with all the what's the word? Air. I don't know.
Pollution. It's like the pollution of New York will have you having an allergy attack.
Right. You can see the blue sky where you was at. Now it's like, I'm not sure what's going on up there.
It's like gray skies above.
It's different for sure. So I'm just adjusting and I'm good. I have enjoyed some of the summer travel with you, Karan Ashley. And yes, BlerdCon 2023 was my first time attending, and I actually got the shirt from there. Shout out to the shirt.
Say it again, because you just like cut out for 1 second. Shout out to who?
To the people who made the shirt. I don't know.
Okay, the people that made the shirt.
The people who
I thought she knew. I thought she was talking to everybody. I thought she knew who made the shirt. Who
she was in the show now. Listen, you wasn't at BlerdCon if you ain't see Christi. Christi was at the parties. Christi was at the food trucks. Christi was in the arcade atrium. She was getting it in. I was like, go ahead.
I tried to see most of the things. Again, it was a great show. It was a great show. And of course, before or after, look, it's a blur now. Of course, going to Ranger Stop and Pop. That was a massive success.
Thank you.
And I didn't make it last. So that was also my first time.
Yeah, that was your first one. First Ranger Stop and Pop. Yeah.
It's a great year of firsts with YouTube. So, and I have a lot of commentary for that. That's a whole other show though.
Yeah, no, we'll talk about it. Cause I was like, let me say, I was so excited. I mean, these are cons that are owned by Black people. Like, let's just, Mikey, who's one of our partners, he isn't Black, but he's invited to the barbecue. Right. Trust me when I tell you. So me, Nakia, and Mikey, we own Ranger Stop and Pop. It's a Black owned business up in there, so is BlerdCon, Hilton. It was just amazing. Like, it was funny because Nakia, that was Nakia's first time going to BlerdCon or going to any con.
That's right.
But like going to any con that was like Black nerd extravaganza. And I mean, she was literally like, like, she was just taking it in. She kept going, this reminds me of college. This reminds me of college, like UCLA. Oh my gosh. Like she was getting, like, having her best time, having her best life.
She's
I think
like,
she really
Lowry
enjoyed
season
it.
Salt in the air. I can smell it. I guess Somebody sprinkling it from the third floor down onto the.
Smell Hennessy, seasoned salt, and
Uh-uh.
and peach cobbler just walking around.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful to watch. So much so that I like literally was trolling Hilton for weeks, going, when you taking it on the road? When you doing it again? Like, Hilton, you got to add another city. Like
me pulling my duvet up over my eyes.
Yes, yeah. Well, because people don't know that. Like, after you're done with a Comic-Con, you are like wasted. Like, it's like there's nothing left. Like, you were just, I mean, if there's a problem or I need to talk to the manager, you are the manager. Like, you are the one who has to go put out the fires. And we've got an extensive team, but even when you have an extensive team, it still comes back. It still comes back to you. You still got to do some things. You still got to be the final voice that says, "Hey,
you gotta plug the holes. You got to run around with the ShamWow, wipe up the spills, and you got to be that guy." And it's in a way, I actually I miss most of the con because I'm running around.
It's like a
wedding.
When I
do, you're not even in. Right. I don't get to plug into anything. So I have to take my cues from how people report back. So when they tell me they had a good time, I'll be like, okay, boom, because everything is a blur and you're just running around. But it was really great energy, and it was our biggest year yet.
Yes,
and it was it was one of those, as a con runner, this, Karen, where you that you kept the wheels on the cart through the con.
Yes.
And anything that went a little left or a little right, you kept backstage. And nothing really affected the show for people. So no matter how much stress me and my team might have been under from one minute to the next, it never affected the show. We kept everything together. And we had a good time, and you guys were great. And so it was really, really awesome.
Yay.
Yeah. Listen.
Yeah. Go ahead, Christy, please chime in.
Don't know this, as a first time attendee, but I've been celebrating it. I kind of treated it like how I treat Marvel things. I just love it, whether I've been there or not. So I was like, yo, this is around the clock. They are doing things at 3, 5, 10, 12.
I don't know who is running that part of the show. I have no idea.
All the PMs. And it's so funny because we were so exhausted. I mean, I think every day it was just like, oh my God, it's so exhausting.
We showed up tired too. Like, we'd been at another show before that. So we showed up tired.
I did get that one party, and that DJ got say her name.
Jay Chalet.
Listen, when you go from not one time, when people leave like a dance floor, like this girl had the entire place, and I mean a massive amount of ballroom was just on fire from start to when I walked out. And I was down there for at least an hour and a half. And when people are losing their minds over, in the middle of all the booty and all the everything shaking, Anita Baker, she put on Anita Baker, baby. And when I tell you, we were singing our hearts out. She didn't miss a beat.
Wow.
He just had this very laid back, cool energy, but the place had enough going. It was just crazy. The room at one point was jumping up off the floor. But it was.
Yeah, I knew what she was gonna do when she said, "I'm gonna play that music, make y'all start cleaning up the house."
Yes.
And then she started playing Anita Baker and
See,
that's a song. She was hitting up some stuff I ain't heard in the party before, and I'm like, wait a minute, people are swaying.
It was all of those just mixed into one, and it was fantastic. So I had a great time. And like I said, I got a lot of visuals. I put out just a couple, but it's like I need to do films on both of these events.
I don't know why you don't. I don't even, because you're literally like, it's one of those things where we get lost. Like, I'm at the table signing autographs. Hilton's running around.
Oh, I'm sorry. Newsflash, because I be tired too after the
well, see, there's no room for you to be tired. We can't all be tired.
I'm a need, and then 17 other things start happening all at once.
Yes, yeah. I mean,
we're gonna get Red Bull as a sponsor next year, so we won't have so much time. We've
got Monster as a sponsor at our show.
Oh,
they literally hand out monsters.
Oh man, I don't
I
know.
don't
I don't know
even
if we
drink
can handle it.
Monster,
Yeah.
but I considered it. Like I was like, I strongly considered it. But man, it's just one of those things where it's, I heard about that DJ. I heard about like so many different opportunities, but it's, I think for you, Hilton, when you walk away, doesn't it feel good though, after it's been a successful weekend? Things have gone off. And I mean, there are always problems. There's always stuff that happens. And half the time people don't even know about problems. But when you are laying in bed that Monday after the show and you're just like, we did it. We yeah, under the duvet, like we did that, and everyone's texting you and everyone's posting and everybody like, and then you also get the people who are all Comic-Con experts and got something to say about this, that, and the other, and you just like, you just gotta push that aside because most of the people are very happy and very excited because it's just one of those great feelings where it's like, it came to life. The baby went off to college and came home back safely.
Yeah, it's very much like that. You kind of, on one hand, it went so smooth that I was like, okay, if something went wrong in the con, that not gonna really hit the fan until everybody get home to their computers to start talking about it. You kind of have that little 24-hour grace period where you kind of listening, like, hold up. Like, it's like if you build a new house and you like hear creaking and popping as the house settles, you're like, wait, what's that?
Yeah.
What's that? And once you get to the other end of that and you don't see or hear of anything, crazy going on or any major issues, it's exactly like that. You just, my team is so, it was like, what do we do now? I was like, just bask. Right. It's a job well done.
Enjoy.
Relax. I'm gonna leave the chat on mute for a couple weeks. Let y'all stop hearing my voice and seeing my face. Cause the lead up to the con, I'm hitting people. I don't even know what time it is. 4 a.m. You got time for a call? Like you're like, oh damn, it's 4 a.m. You got a day job. My bad. I'm so sorry. I didn't even look at the time. But once that's all said and done, and you get, you kind of come back and everything settles in. Yeah, that's really where the money is at. And this year was probably one of the smoothest runs we've had with the biggest guest lineup. I mean, look, we had 2 Power Rangers, and like that, we never had that. We had Cree Summer, we had Rachel True, we had Ade McCormack, we had little Kevon Woodard, who got his Emmy nomination the Tuesday after Blerd Con. Right. I'm glad for him, but I'm like, bro, they couldn't have gave that the Tuesday before.
Right. So we could have celebrated him.
Yeah, oh man. So we're real proud of that young brother. We'd have lifted him up
on our shoulders and just walk him through BlerdCon.
He don't weigh before the pound. We could have
like Simba. With a Simba, we just carried it through because that's what he deserved.
Listen, that little brother, man, it was so inspiring to see him. Just a side note, because he is a new star, he's new to fame, and he's local. Bowie is just east of us here in DC, and so he came in and he saw his banner. You saw like the big banners we have for something together.
Yeah,
and I mean his eyes just like turned into saucers. I don't think he's ever seen his own face that big. And when at the end of the con, they were asking me if they could take it. And I was like, I don't have no more use for it. And they were like, and so they were packing it up, and I gave him the roll for it. So I hope he got his whole side of his room is that banner. I hope.
Yes.
So. Congrats to him, and it was really great having him and everybody else that came out, including yourselves. It was wonderful.
That's great. That is great. Well, good. I am so glad. Also, there have been a lot of things happening in the media, a lot of things happening. I mean, we straight up got indictments coming down. It's on fire in
DC.
DC.
Reporting to Georgia on Thursday. $200,000 bond. Who's signing for Donald Trump?
Oh, it's like bail. It's like mugshots. Like it's so funny because I'm from Texas. And I got some people who on that other side, that they still in delusion that this man, he lost the election. Let's just make that very clear. And it's so weird because this is when it's like some cult stuff happening or there's some other things happening because they still feel like it's a conspiracy. And I'm like, guys, there's 71 felony charges over 4 different states. And this is unlike anything I've ever witnessed. And then you still want to vote for somebody who out on bail? Like he gonna be out on bail.
Look,
Like
you know
you
how they
won't
had
hire
him.
him. You won't hire no one else out on bail, or you won't hire any. Like you doing background checks on everybody, but you ain't gonna do a background check on your president.
That's
Listen,
right.
Like,
do you remember
oh,
when my man from Philly, what's his name? Basketball player. Ah,
basketball player from
yeah.
Philly. You mean Allen Iverson?
Yes.
Yes.
AI.
Okay. I was
So
like,
y'all remember
Philly
whenever he would
Allen.
get in trouble, and like his mom would get on TV. And she
Mm-hmm.
would just be arguing with people. Were you there? Did you see it? You didn't know? How you gonna say? I mean, she was just doing that mom defending the
Yeah.
son thing. That's how all of these people sound,
Oh,
because they just like, well, I haven't seen none that said that, and who is reliable sources, and who told you that, and blah blah blah. I'll be like, how you get 4 indictments? You know, these are juries of your peers. These are not prosecutors that indict people. A jury has to indict you. They have to see
yeah.
the preliminary evidence, and
Yep.
they have to say collectively in these states. Georgia is a conservative state, regardless of how it went in the
Yeah.
election.
Yeah.
Texas is a conservative state.
Yeah, it is.
Parts of New York are conservative,
Conservative
outside
state.
of the city, right? So these are people in these juries who are looking at this evidence and deciding to indict this man and say this is enough evidence to deserve a trial. So when people start talking about the system and they start talking about conspiracies, I'm just like, you can say it's a conspiracy to bring him when half of these judges are people that Trump appointed, half of these prosecutors
Yeah.
are people he appointed.
They're the
And
ones who are
so
overseeing
I'm
this
like,
stuff.
what do I don't know where the conspiracy connection is, but
Right.
once it hit the jury, I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, man, like 4 of them.
I just
Like, I
can't
don't know.
wait for the day that we get out this mist. Like it's just, and I don't know that we'll ever will, because now that I look back at life and I remember like hearing my uncles and my dad and people talking, they'd be like, "This country is a conspiracy. Like this country," So it was like we've always been dealing with these kind of things, but it's just on a whole nother level. What was your reaction, Chrissy? Because you know me, I watch the TV like Thursday. I'm gonna be in Canada, but I'm almost glad I'm in Canada because then I can't watch it the whole day. Because I
Yeah.
would be like, I'm gonna be in Toronto with things to do.
You know,
But
strangely, I'm not excited. I can't even bring myself, because I remember going back to 2016, and when that person got put into office, I just didn't,
dark
like,
cloud.
I was broken in so many ways, and to this day, I mean, we're still feeling so many of the effects of that. It's everywhere. It's in everything. He put things into motion that
Mm-hmm.
and we're seeing play out. He did these things and had been under the judicial eye for years, for decades.
Cheers.
No one ever did anything about it. So again, the fact that he's roaming around with his fat ass, and I'm sorry, I say
Oh no. Whoa.
You are just describing the
Whoa.
objective size of the man's posterior. There's no hate, no
Okay. Go
shade.
ahead.
the
Go
fact
ahead.
that he waddles around in this,
And there's nothing wrong with waddling, people.
that,
Everybody, I waddle sometimes. Go ahead.
I mean, if you do it in the because you love Donald Trump, then yes, there is a problem.
Ugh. Yeah.
Um, so I just, I feel like I can't even get excited anymore because he has been twice impeached and nothing happened. Like you made a point earlier saying how the rest of us can't be. If we had this, you won't even get a job. You can't do this. There are things that like people can't do right now. You can't even vote
If
if
you're a felon.
you're a felon in the majority of places. I know that there are several places working to eliminate that,
Yeah.
but the fact still remains
Yeah.
that that's what it is. And
Majority of felons can't
I
vote.
I
But this
don't
one can be president.
I don't again.
There's no law against it.
He's in the front running
Yeah.
for the primary.
Yeah.
He's leading all other candidates.
46%
It's
favorable.
disgusting.
Ugh.
It's
It's
beyond
off. It's a
disappointing.
cult.
I just don't even get excited until this mofo is behind, up under, beneath, beyond the jail.
Chris, I'm about to either blow your mind or ruin your day or both. I don't
Blow
know
it
which
or
one is
ruin
it,
it.
but
Which one? I
Yeah.
love it.
But do you know, I'm sure you've heard this before because you pay attention to issues. There is nothing in the Constitution preventing somebody who is indicted and in prison from being and holding the office of president. So he could still end up being held guilty and go to jail. And if his name is still on the ballot and he wins, he can still be president from Staten Island or wherever,
wherever he's at. And then Georgia death trap they got over there.
Right. And then he's got for the federal charges, he could just pardon himself. Right. That's legally within the bounds. But the state charges he couldn't. So technically, he could be in prison and still be the elected president, theoretically, of the country, because there's nothing in the Constitution that says if you're in prison, you can't be president. Well, even though you can't vote if you can't. If you have a felony conviction, but if you're in prison,
that's when we've gotten to the sunken place, because there's not even a law that can protect.
The crazy part is.
It's
an onion, so it's so many layers. That's how they designed it, because that Constitution did not include people who look like any of us here.
Oh no, so not at all.
This was about that CYA, that cover your ass part.
Mm-hmm.
It's all by design, which again,
and the fact that they have people who are felons, we know that the majority of the people who are getting arrested are people of color, even though we're the minority, even though we're the most incarcerated, we're the most hunted, we know that. So again, that, like you said, that's by design. That's and then the fact that they won't let them vote, that's just a way of oppressing votes, and just whittling down our numbers. But well, we just gotta pray. I just want to collectively, BlerdCon, people who watch BlerdCon, y'all just say a little prayer for the people who are, the people in Georgia, the people who are the judges, the people who are going to be in these juries. I mean, these are people whose lives are going to be upended just because they are doing their civic duty of they're going to job every day, or they've got jury duty, or they've been assigned to this, or these judges don't know what cases they're going to get. They get assigned to this. And so now this is the burden they bear. And so I just hope that we get, there's just, there's going to be shenanigans, but I hope there are judges and there are people in place to limit the shenanigans.
Because if they shenan once, they
shenanigan. That was good.
That was good.
Her mic cut out, but I filled it in for you, Chris. I filled it in.
She'll shenanigan. Okay,
yes,
I gotta put that on the shirt.
That needs to be a BlerdCon next year. Okay, so another thing that happened, a beautiful, an amazing, a wonderful show, guys. Oh my gosh. I think this one took us by surprise. It's like we'd heard about it. They cloned Tyrone, that is on Netflix. We'd heard about the show, but I didn't see a lot of trailers, or I didn't see a lot of publicity. Netflix is notorious of just throwing some shit out there. Don't put no money behind it. They get no marketing dollars. But this movie was so good. It was. So I mean, I just was at a lot. I watched it twice in within days of each other, just because I was like, there's got to be things I missed. Yeah, I would have watched it again if I just had the time, but because I was at a Comic-Con every weekend, I just didn't have I'd fall asleep because I was too tired. But it stars John Boyega, Jamie Foxx. I mean, it's just there was a lot of really cool actors in here. Okay, so I'm gonna go to you guys. Give me your overall first impressions. Teyona Ferris, I don't want to forget her because she was amazing in it. Y'all give me y'all's first impressions of They Clone Tyrone. My first impressions, I loved it. Oh my god. Okay.
I thought it was really fresh. I thought it was really entertaining. It was equal parts comedy and dark, which is a really hard thing to pull off outside of horror, which is a combination of the two in its perfect form. So I wasn't, initially I wasn't sure what I was getting into, because I was like, because when I say dark, it's like actually dark. It's like, Snyder cut dark.
Yeah, things that happen behind the scenes. Like, I mean, we talking about this crazy
Yeah.
shenanigans, but it's
Yep.
the system. This is describing the system and the
But
way
it
it's rigged
unfolds.
against us.
It unfolds so gradually though, because it
Yeah.
doesn't start off with the conspiracy stuff. It seems
No.
like a day in the life, kind of like a, you know, like maybe a Juice or a Don't Be a Menace, and you know, it's kind of this drug dealer, you know, who's running around and he's yelling in that through the door at his mom, and he's trying to go and keep from getting shot, doing his thing. You know, I'm like, oh, okay, I see John Boyega taking this role. He's dark, you know, he's not playing this pithy, funny, erudite character. He didn't play the African king in one and a stormtrooper, and he's been all over the place. It's the first time I'm seeing him like this, got the gold grill. And then we get introduced to Jamie Foxx, who is inherently funny, but he's playing this character that is so over the top, like a new version of Dolomite. He just got all these little sayings, and he's this pimp, you know, and he's not even a good pimp. He's just like, he just got these girls around him, and he just saying stuff, and he talking all fast, and it's like, who in the hell are these characters? And then obviously Tiana gets in there, she's doing her thing, and you're just like, everyone starts going in their direction, and then stuff starts happening. And we don't want to give anything away, but you know,
give it away. It's been out for a while.
Yeah,
we've been on hiatus. Yeah, give it away.
I'm just like, yo, like this is like so well done, because I actually wanted to get on the elevator with him. I'm like, get on the elevator. I gotta go to keep, you know, we got to find out what's going on down there. Like, how you gonna take it out?
I imagined the three of us on that elevator. Like, I imagined us. Like, that was completely some shit we would do. Hilton. See, he talking about the system. He talking about how it's see. He's there. He is. See, they try to take you out, Hilton.
My
your camera. You like went away and you went black, and then you came back.
I can see me. So I was like, they trying to stop us.
They trying to stop you.
They try to stop us.
I can see him too. He didn't disappear.
He didn't? You totally disappeared. That was weird.
Look. They really trying to get us now. They're trying to separate us.
You know, they trying to divide and conquer. But okay. So in the story, like he said, like Hilton described, you know, it starts off very everyday, day to day. This guy is obviously going through the day to day of his drug hustle and what he does each day. And he goes to meet Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx obviously owes him some money. And the fast talking pimp that he is, like, talks at least for 5 more minutes of, please just let me get you. I'll get your money tomorrow. I'll get your money. Like, and so when he leaves, you know, John Boyega's character gets shot. He gets shot by some people that he had an altercation with earlier in the film, and it was just he ran over some dude just because he's a drug dealer. You have conflict with somebody, or somebody talk about it, they probably gonna try to shoot each other, or they're gonna try to run over each other. So needless to say, they shot him. Like, he was dead, like shot, like stood up in the car, shot him. There's no coming back from that. And the funny thing is that John Boyega wakes up the next morning. He's going about his day, and it isn't until he goes to find Jamie Foxx trying to
collect the money again,
that it all just unfolds, because Jamie is like, what kind of ghost? Like, he is just bugging out. And then that's when all the stuff, you know, started. So Christi, you were going crazy. Christi, when she really likes something, she go light up the chat. And I was like, Christi, save it for the show. But Christi's like, oh no, she had to tell us in real time how she felt about the movie.
And my reasoning for that is, my excitement doesn't really die. Like, I am going to stay excited. So anytime someone says, I could be in the middle of anything, anywhere, talking to anybody, and something can come up. And if it's a movie I've seen or a show, whatever, you guys seen it? Oh my God, you guys. And I, like, it was yesterday, like it just came out that morning. So this movie is so freaking good. And I feel sad for those who couldn't give it the moment that it needed, beyond, you know, just knowing that it exists, to actually pay attention to the writing. First of all, the storyline in and of itself is
amazing.
It's just incredible, because again, it is dark comedy, but it is it's speculative, and it's an ongoing thing that's growing more and more, and especially in the Black space.
Yes.
And create and the fact that people like Jordan Peele, are really widening that door to get into this genre of Black people and horror, and not being the first to die. So but the conspiracies that go on, this cast is impeccable. Jamie Foxx is phenomenal. His ability to whittle off these phrases. He has so much that one of my favorite lines is when he's in the car and John Boyega calls him nimble. He said, "I ain't nimble, I'm a Taurus." Yes! And I loved it. I adopted it because I'm a Taurus. And I was like, that's my catchphrase right there.
Yes. Yeah, that describes you well.
But the two don't have anything. It's so funny.
Right, have nothing to do with each other.
But his ability to just deliver these mini monologues, anytime he would talk, and their timing is just classically, classic perfection. Tiana Paris is hysterical. She's also very quick-lipped.
Yeah.
It's John Boyega, again, he was so believable, it's ridiculous.
I've never seen him as like this hard dude. Like, even when you see him on social media, he's never like hard. Like, he's just happy. Like, he's the happy guy.
He growls through the whole movie. He's just like,
such a good actor.
Now, don't forget, he played several other roles. Because remember, he played the older professor he was cloned from. And then there was the robotic, henchman that he played himself.
Mm-hmm.
And, then there was two versions of himself, the clone and So he actually showed some range where I didn't see in the beginning, like, oh, he's going to be this guy. Yeah. And like, oh, wait, he's all in this movie.
He did but he did a few things, and I cannot go with that. Of course, I want to mention David Alan Grier.
Who
was not a major role, but he was a pivotal.
Every time David Alan Grier comes on the scene, it's like he blows my mind.
He is so good,
underrated to the max.
Yes.
But the best moment for me, again, aside from
Lord. Okay, favorite scene, Christy, you going first.
Well, no, I want to talk about the cast and people now when at midway, at the mid mark, when you start to realize, oh shit, there's really something going on. But beneath the city, Kiefer Sutherland, for me, hands down, was everything y'all don't understand. Like, I just the other night,
I do understand.
I watched The Lost Boys, and that's when I fell in love in 1984 or whenever that came out with Kiefer Sutherland. And oh my God, I was so happy to see him in this film. So
Kiefer, like literally, this movie I really want to describe as like the most underrated actors. Like, they put together the people that they just don't get the clout that they deserve, but they're the truth. Like, I remember going once to a live taping of the Jamie Foxx show, and it was so amazing to just see this man. Like, he wasn't like, he would ad-lib, but he would stick to the script. Obviously you're in a sitcom situation, you got to stick to the script, you got to do certain things, but every single take was different. Like, Jamie it was like the cast was just like, all they had to do was just bounce off of him, because this man was he was bouncing all over the place. And it reminded me of that watching this movie, because like you said, in between the shots, like, he would just be saying things, and it was like the most hysterical lines were said under his breath. Like, it was like it wasn't the punchline, it was the reaction, or just the mumble. Like, he was hilarious, and I saw Tiana and I saw, John Boyega, they were just sparring with him, like they were right there with him. And it was just amazing. And then, like you said, Kiefer Sutherland, we had, David Alan Grier, Jay. Am I here? I'm here.
You had a hiccup, but you still with
Did
us.
I? Okay. I'm like J. Alphonse Nichols. Yeah, they trying to shut us down, guys, because it's like we're talking about some truth. He's from P Valley, like he's a breakout star on that show. Like, there's just a lot of really good talent, and it's funny because in the Black community we've always had though, like I've always had a few relatives who are like, they are the they it's a conspiracy. They're the conspiracy people. There's always some, and the reality is there is some truth to a lot of the things that were talked about in this movie. Like obviously they clone. Fontaine realizes in this movie that he is a clone, because they are able to break into an underground lab. They're able to find the dead Fontaine, and he realizes he's a clone. And he realizes that there is something going on. And they realize that, like we've always said, that Black people are being, they have done medical experiments on us before. And this is documented history. Like, this is stuff we know that has happened. So can you imagine the things we don't know that has happened? We've always said there's something about the food that we eat, the food that is shipped to the hood. The products that are shipped to the hood. Like, this movie, I got to give it up to the writer-director. Let me just shout him out, and I'm going to let you go, Hilton, because I know you got something. Yeah. Jewel Taylor is the director and the writer of the screenplay, and he is the mastermind behind this movie. Him and Tony Rettenheimer, they wrote this screenplay. But go, Hilton, go, because it was rooted in so much truth, much conspiracy truth.
If you saw Sorry to Bother You,
yeah,
and if you go to like the 2/3 mark where the movie gets underground and you see the underground horse people,
yes.
Oh. First off, that's kind of where the movie lost me, because it did take a hard right. No. But in my mind, I was thinking to myself, if this movie were a continuation of that, and when he had gone in and seen the conspiracy, it wasn't horse people running around, but this would have been much more grounded in reality, as you were saying. And it would have been like, I felt that same energy. I felt that same texture to it. And it was like, I think either somebody was like paying homage to this absurd, conspiracy, because I was no horse people running around. But, the idea of sending, all of this negative stuff in our food, food deserts in urban areas, all of this stuff is reality. And then to sit there and watch it play out so literally, they're sitting in the chicken place. And they're just looking around. Once they realize that something's in the chicken, and then they look around at all the other Black people eating the chicken, and they're like, everybody's like laughing, crazy. Acting stupid,
laughing at
damn
nothing.
Chicken, like and it's like, we have every Black person that eats meat or has ever eaten meat has bitten into a piece of fried chicken, and you've been transported. There's the best chicken you ever had, and it called that into question. Like, it was like, dang, when I was at Willie Mays in New Orleans, was I changing really my DNA? What was happening? What's the Colonel's 11 herbs and spices doing to me, right?
What place we went in Atlanta, and that we went to?
Oh, you're right. When we went to, we didn't get to go, but you went. We went to
Gus's fried chicken.
Like, and listen, that was dead on. Yeah. That Gus's chicken is that one. But the cool thing is that the scenes that you were talking about, where you see so much of that ad lib type thing, is actually real. You know, most of the scenes in this movie, they let Jamie Foxx riff. Yeah. And everyone was encouraged. If the riff bumps into you, you got to, the wave gets past to you, do what you want with it. We just need to get, the scene needs to accomplish this goal for the story. Here's the script. If Jamie does or says something or sees something or chimes in, feel free to step to the left or the right. And that played out through the entirety of the script. And even in scenes where he wasn't in, where people were really kind of, throwing in their own verbiage and things like that. So that's why it felt so organic and it felt so real, because it was Jamie Foxx being a pimp in, this fictional story, but you got your Jamie Foxx fix that you might not have got from, what's the one where he was White House Down, where he's playing the president. Right. You're like, really, Jamie? This is the president? You're not that funny. You got to be the straight player. No, this was him at his best.
You being a genius.
And I think this is the movie where he actually got sick toward the end. Like, this is the movie where he was finishing up before he took ill. And I think this is the one where he right after this is where he got sick. So
he was on the film with Charlize Theron, and it was
he really gave if this is the best performance that he gets, there's an Emmy in there for him.
And there should be. There
Yeah,
should be.
because he was so over the top, and he gave it all in this movie.
I just think it really lends to like the comedic genius of it all. We saw it with Eddie Murphy earlier this year with You People, where they can be funny, but yet they have this ability to be so real. Yet it is so like thought provoking, and yet like they just disarm you. Like they disarm you with the fact that they're really good actors, you know. And I've always felt like Jamie, like like you said, some of the projects he's chosen, I'm like, I get what he's trying to do. Like he was trying to diversify, or he was trying to become that leading man. But I think this is the place we need. Like Jamie is electric when he's in a place that he can just be. He can still be serious. You can still feel that heart. You know, he can. I don't know. He has a way of making your heartstrings pull, but then also just have you in stitches. Like it's so good.
There's a scene that I think indemnifies his character like perfectly. And I didn't see it coming, and physics might not allow it to happen in real life, but it played so well. This brother was under the gun, the scene with Kiefer Sutherland standing over him with the gun. Yeah. And he was so smooth that he smoothed his way out his coat on his back, right under this man, went and got a weapon and took him out, you know, because he was distracted just over here. And I'm just like, how did he even do that? Like, oh, wait. He's supposed to be super smooth. And he slither right out that leather jacket and slide out of there without even being noticed. I said, now that is character right there. Like that kind of thing, like brings a character full circle, and it makes you appreciate everything that you didn't appreciate in the beginning parts of the movie, especially if you saw it twice.
Yeah.
I think
go ahead, Chris.
Get past what they think it is and really watch it for what it really is. And I really feel like this could be, again, it just opens up so many more passageways to this type of storytelling. And then the audience that now not only, you know, have to wait 4, 5, 6 months to see it, but will be eager to see these things so that they do. Because again, the other side of this is, how well do these things perform statistically or analytically, whatever? And they make a difference. And I hope that this film, again, in less than 24 hours, I watched it twice, and getting ready to watch it again. So I hope, and again, this is right up my alleyway when my brain starts to craft and create. Like this is it. This is the kind I'm a conspiracy theorist.
Right. This is Christy. She's the uncle. She's the aunt. Be like, y'all, it's always a conspiracy.
I hope that the guys that wrote this, Jewel Taylor and company, I hope they get the recognition that they deserve for something like this. And I need for all of us, all of our folks watching, like, y'all need to watch it. Sit down, watch it.
Yeah.
It's so
I think Karen said it best. You know, this movie, well, you said it, Christy, this movie is a statement. And Karen, you said it best that Netflix, they don't promote their properties very well at all. It's like your auntie come in the house with a bag of groceries. You don't know, you ain't giving no list. You don't know. They just here's a whole bunch of stuff that you didn't know was coming, and we hope you like it. You know, grab what you want. And I think with a little bit of targeted promo and a little bit more PR, like this movie could really, especially since it's on Netflix and everybody got Netflix, even if you ain't got Netflix. Right. So like, come on, like you tell me you can't watch it. You ain't got to leave your house. You ain't got to do nothing but hit the remote. And it's this really high quality movie just sitting there. And I'm guilty of it too. I saw it and I was like, what in the hell? And then I got to play and watch it. And I was like, what the? It was movie theater quality. This movie could have been in a theater 5 years ago and done well.
Well, you know what I loved about it though was that this was really a word of mouth kind of situation. Yep. Like the way that I heard about it was I was bombarded. Like I had seen it and I was like, I'd seen a trailer, like a snippet, and I was like, oh, I got to see that just because of the cast. Like I instantly was like, oh, I've got to watch this. But then I forgot about it because there's a million other things that you're bombarded with when you turn on these streamers, right? And so I didn't even know it had come out, but like literally every single Black person I know had posted like, guys, this, and there's certain people that I follow that I know that I trust their judgment. Like usually when they're like, oh, and they're like deeper thinkers, they get a little bit more out of the movie, and they were like, guys, you gotta watch it. You think it's a comedy, but it's a whole like. And so then I was like, oh, I'm watching this, and like I remember being on the plane, downloading it, and going, okay, I'm gonna watch it on my flight because I got 3-4 hours to sit here. And I watched it and was like, I was literally sitting there like, oh my gosh, like it was so great. And I was
we
just
never
like,
gonna have
so
Gus
proud.
the same. We
Right.
never gonna eat Gus the same. We're gonna be looking side eye
like Gus, but but it was like, but it literally is like what they've been saying. Like, you know how we've always said, like, you know, people, y'all need to be careful of these hair care products, and these hair care products aren't owned by us; they're owned by other, you know.
Right out.
And then, and all of a sudden, we're getting these, you know, if you've used this kind of relaxer and have gotten cancer, have gotten this and this, you know, and you realize, like, we have never been considered as far as our health. Like we're indispensable to I hate to say it, to a lot of people. Like if you look at just the political scene, you and we sit here and we talk about, you know, call them, I say they're in a cult, but it's like you've seen a man be racist, you've seen a man be misogynist, you've seen him be accused of rape, now he's accused of felonies, and all these people are like, yeah, you know, you have to wonder, like they are supporting these ideologies, they're supporting this type of thinking. They want a world where it is them and everybody else just fights and scrapes to get by, you know, or everybody else is eliminated, you know. And it's white supremacy. You know, if you don't want to go that deep, you got, like, there's too many signs for you not to at least acknowledge that there's a huge situation. So this movie, I loved it because it touched on so many of the things that the Black community, Black, brown, people of color have been saying for years, that the math ain't mathing. You know, we are being used, we are being targeted. You know, if you think about, like, even just reservations, like Indian reservations, they flooded the Indian reservations with liquor stores so that they would develop, you know, alcohol and drug problems. And like, it's like, that is not a coincidence. It is not a coincidence that those kind of stores are not in Beverly Hills. Like, it is not a coincidence. So you just really have to, like, but what I love is that the new generation, it seems they're getting it. Like, they're like, hold up, this makes sense. Like, this is like, you know, they're the ones who are binging shows and watching every single thing on Netflix, you know? So it's, you know, that's why I think when things really get crazy, I'm so proud of a lot of the young people, because they're the voices that are really standing up to it, you know? But I get off my soapbox.
No, you're 100% right. And I think when you do something like this, or you make a statement like this, as artfully as it is, it goes down smoother, because you've got these amazing acting performances happening and these stars that are putting this amazing story together, and you've got this compelling, you know, if not relatable, you know, scenario happening, from which the conspiracy is the disruption. Right. Yeah. So it's not like watching a documentary on the JFK assassination where you're like, okay, Ed Burns, we get it, back into the left, back into the left, back into the left. You're actually like, oh, like, I am familiar with some of these issues. I'm familiar with some of these neighborhoods. I'm familiar with some of these struggles. And, you know, it disarms it a little bit so that it goes down smoother, because you may not be a conspiracy theorist going in. Right. But when you come out the other end, having paid attention to the movie, you're going to be like, oh, 1 + 1 doesn't equal cat. Like, I can really start to see, like, okay, maybe people aren't falling out laughing at Bojangles when they eat chicken, but people are definitely, you know, dying younger and having issues with their health in places where this food is served and these guns are sold and this liquor is dispensed, more so than other places with other people. And
you think about
those discussions. So
even like zoning, like where if you wanted to have a strip club, you couldn't have it in a certain neighborhood, but you could have it in ours. You know, if you wanted to have like a liquor store, liquor license, liquor, like there's zones to do that. They allow for it to be closer to schools. They allow for it to be like, there's just a whole set of like, it's just, yeah. So Christy, it's starting to make me mad.
You know, and clearly,
I don't know. We're going to strip club.
I know, right? Not that there's anything wrong with strip clubs, guys. I fully support that line of work.
There are so many pieces to this. Again, it's just, it's
yeah.
I think what we have to also do is reclaim a couple of things, and starting with the word woke. There's a reason why we have to gate, because this is one of those wake up moments. It is a film that screams wake up without
right
saying.
Thurgood. Wake up.
And so it is classic. It's almost, it's just, we got to start paying better attention. These things are not by accident. Just like this fool that is running for president again and could very well win again, from wherever he is in the globe. That is a possibility, a real possibility. It is something that we also need to look at when it comes to paying attention to the things that are happening in our communities, why they happen, and all those things you just listed, Karen. Those are all of it. We got to stop a second and say, okay, wait a minute, y'all.
So while you're in Toronto, I need you to call up Remax and check on some real estate in case in a couple of years we got to
go. We got to go. We moving to Toronto or Mexico. Which one y'all want? Hey.
Well, here's two. I got two perspectives on both of those. One, you mentioned Toronto, that's Canada. So if you've watched my favorite show, The Handmaid's Tale, you know, Canada ultimately don't even want us there no more. So they get pushed back out. Now, also have, you know, I'm a diehard, of course, I'm a Monkey and Blumhouse fan. So Blumhouse, when they did The Purge, the last the Forever Purge, we all escaped to Mexico. Like the only way you can get any type of South
Mexico's live, y'all. I don't know what y'all talking about. Shit.
It's not fair because Karen's half Mexican. That ain't fair. You got relatives and stuff. I ain't got nobody in Mexico.
Yeah, but you got my people. My people are like, come on.
With the Bop gonna have a compound? I didn't know that. I thought we was gonna do like the last scene of Ocean's 11. And
yes.
separate way. Oh, if we going in one bus, I'm good. Okay.
Yes, we going in one bus. Like literally, we're gonna send the bus and we're just gonna pick y'all up. We're gonna start up north and let's just go on down.
Get on the bus. Yeah, I thought the beauty of those things is that those are two places you could either go north or you could go south. And the funny part is we used to try to escape north, you know, for Black people in particular. It was all about going to the north. Well, the north it's not safe. It wasn't safe really then, but you know, it wasn't as brutal, I guess, as south, but
you could work for pennies. Instead of work for nothing, you can work for pennies.
The irony of it or all of it, when I look at these films and you look at what we're talking about with They Clone Tyrone, and then you wonder, where are we going to go? You know, because this is just getting too crazy. There's so many
back to the motherland
experiments. But if you need to get somewhere on foot, because many of us don't have, you know, some of us don't have passports. And I think many people don't have passports. I think that's a larger population there. So where are you going to go? Oh, you know what? We got to go south, like super south. And they welcomed everybody. I mean, you sought asylum for people who are today in our environment seeking asylum from there into the United States. And again, there's an issue right now in New York. It's all over the news this morning, and how it's just a growing problem, but they're doing their best. Some company has just turned a whole building, a massive building that they had, they're turning it into housing for asylum seekers right here in New York. And I'm like,
I love it.
Wow. But anyway, you know, and when you're somewhere else and you're watching the news and you hear those things happening in California and in New York, and Karen, this is, you know, normal for you, but for me to be up the street from what I'm used to seeing on the news, it's like, yo, this is crazy.
Right?
And in Hilton, you too. I mean, you're in
because they're dumping immigrants in DC as well. So it's like These conservative
I
governors
got
are
work.
lost
I
their
got work
mind.
for all of them. Come see me.
Yeah.
I look.
You know what I'm saying?
Look,
Like we can.
you
Let's
ain't gonna
do
scare
this.
me with no Mexicans. Come on.
Let's do this. Let's
Come
do it.
on. Let's do
Yes,
it. You don't
that's the
scare me
hardest
with
working.
Mexicans moving in my neighborhood, gays moving in my bring all your
Nope.
pride flags. Look,
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
not, they
Let's
ain't
do
got nothing.
this.
Let's come
Let's
on.
do it. But you know
Come
what?
on.
The funny thing is when we really do it, then they come and burn your stuff down, or they come like it's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Guys, this is so funny. I got this beautiful shirt. I don't know if you can see it. See, I am Black History.
Mm.
Yes, yes. Another Black-owned Comic-Con that I went to, Ranger Station. Jamila, she runs a show in Philadelphia. Amazing woman. She gave me the shirt, right? So I've been wearing it because that's my slogan, right? Guys, okay, so you get a mixed bag when you wear this shirt. Mostly great. Like literally, it's the coolest thing to just because you forget what you got on, right? So you're like walking in the airport doing your thing, and somebody just be like, they just will kind of forever you, or they just be like sister, yeah. Or people come to you and go, I am so happy you're wearing that, or whatever, and it's just a good, like, it's good to see that there are people out there that they believe in it, they're allies, whatever. But then you get that one lady on the plane that is not Black History. I don't know what, she wasn't Black, but she comes up and she goes, oh my God, I love your shirt. Oh my God, that is so great. Like stops me, come back from the bathroom on the plane. So, the aisles are little anyway. So she stops me, wants to have a whole conversation about it. And I'm like, oh, thank you. It was given to me as a gift, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, you think I could get one? You think it'd be offensive if I wore one? And I was like,
ma'am.
And I literally
you had to put on your shade. You had to put on your look. She had to put the gatekeepers on.
She said, do you think it would be offensive if I wore a shirt that says I am Black History? She goes, I just want to show that I'm an ally. I just want to show that I'm down. And I looked at her and I go, that's team too much. Like I literally, and she was like,
you're at an 8. We need you at a 3.
Yeah, she was just like, and like literally that shit kind of like she got pissed and it kind of shrunk her. And I go, I'm not trying to be mean. I go, but this is the perfect example of this is not your history. Let us shine. That's team too much. I go, but thank you for the compliment. And I went and sat in first class. So that's how I ended that.
See, she say the back part of the story for the back part of the story.
Sorry, my rider has gone up.
Going to the big chairs.
Yeah, no, my rider has gone up these last 2 years. See, I Hilton's a Black-owned business, so I don't hit him with I need my first class ticket. I don't hit him with that because I'm like, nah, bro, you my bro, you my boy.
And to be fair,
and
I won't put you on Frontier either. I won't put you on Frontier.
No, he won't. He takes care of me. I send him like, I want this flight. Does that work? And he's like, boom, no questions, good. But I don't hit him with the like, give me I need this, that. I don't hit him with the stuff that I hit other shows with. But
Karen, though, for real, listen, you're actually somebody for whom which that shirt literally and directly applies. Like it's metaphorical for the average brother walking around, because this is like a feel good, rah-rah thing. Yes. But you're like, nah, I was the first Black Ranger. Hey, look at me. You watch your show, like, look, I got an IMDb to tell you all this. You ain't got to ask me. Here's my name, and I will show you my place in Black History. Yeah. So I think, it applies literally. It means you need to wear that shirt. So I was hoping you were going to say that people were asking you literally like, oh, like, are you Black History? Like if they don't know.
They don't, but it's like, but there is like,
I think it'd be really cool for you to have that conversation.
Yeah.
To be like,
I'm not even that type. Like,
kicking giants in the butt.
I won't even bring it up. Like, I'll just be like,
you better than me. Let me be a ranger. See, I'll be at Publix with my with my mask on. They'll be like, oh, here he go again. He won't never shut up.
Did you ever watch that movie? What was it? It was a great film. Oh my gosh. And it was about the Asian culture, and it was the lucky, I forget what it was. It was in the 90s. Joy Luck Club, where the little girl was the chess champion. Her mom would walk around with the picture and walk around with her chess champion picture. Like in the neighborhood, like that's her. That's my baby. That's her. That's what I do. That would be you, Hilton. I'm Black
me.
History. That's me, Black History. Yeah, but I felt like you when she asked me that. Yeah, when she asked me that, I felt like you. Like if I had my shades that close, girl, I shaded her in the nicest way. I was like, no, ma'am, that's too much. On top of the regular glasses.
Not 2 shades. We didn't know we had 2 shades.
I didn't realize she put them on top of her real glasses, so she can still see you.
I can see you, but you can't see me.
Man, I would have been no good. I couldn't have been there. You do know that, right?
They would. This is why she wait to tell you these stories so that you don't go back and be talking to people. She's like, I gotta wait till we get out of the state before I tell Christi this.
They always try me though. I think they always try me. They always want to ask me the weird question, and I'm like, really? Like you think that? Like, girl, come on now, come on, girl.
And when you hear these kind of stories, Hilton, my first thought is, damn, why it wasn't me? Why was it? When is it my turn? When is
no, because they would have had to land the plane early.
You'd have a no-fly, and then you couldn't come help me when I need you.
You'd have been on that YouTube channel where the cops be pulling people off planes.
You wouldn't be at Con 2024. You would see big problems.
It would have been so quiet and brutal. Oh Lord, she can't get mad. She's gonna go cry. Girl, stop that.
She's going out for blood. You see how vicious she got?
No, right?
See, that's why God knew. God ain't trying to give you that will, that power.
I know, right?
You can't handle it.
I ain't put in them kind of positions, Lord.
Oh my gosh.
I really am thankful every day that I don't get the crazy because I know I can't fully control. I can control my mouth, but it's my facial expressions that are the real problem. So, or my mannerisms, how my body might respond. So, they're better you than me, sis. And I'm glad you handled it like a charm. No, I mean,
I was like,
you usually. Look, poor little ting.
I know. I was like, it took me 2 seconds though, because I was like, what? Like, man. Like, I was like, girl, come on, girl. We can't have nothing. We can't have nothing, y'all. I'm going to get y'all one of these shirts, though, because I want y'all to walk around and just get the reactions that happen. Like, get the whole reactions of just I'm Black and I'm proud, and see how people respond to the I'm Black and I'm proud. I just want y'all to have, I'm gonna hook that up. But guys, we're at the end of the show. Oh my gosh, it's been so much fun. Guys, you guys tune in every Tuesday for the BOP, the Blerd Official Podcast. We love you. We mean it. Thank you guys for sticking around with us. We love you. Bye. Bye.
Tune in every Tuesday for a new episode of the BOP, the Blerd Official Podcast.